This is the first Eat, Pray, Ball podcast of the year 2022.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Welcome. I got my boy Janini Samero Morera in the house.
Yes, sir.
We over here with Dr. Jamil Noguera Divers.
Inside.
All the hyphens. Welcome, boys. I appreciate y'all coming on. This is obviously Eat, Pray, Ball is about bridging the gap, especially as Americans, through bridging the gap of cultures through the sport of soccer. And the topic of today is called Neymar, The Perfect Chaos. The new documentary, we are a week from its initial release in the U.S. And the first thing I want to ask is, what would you describe your fandom of Neymar before watching the documentary? Like, how much of a fan are you? Jamil, I know, is a fan of, like, Brazilians, but I don't know if you really fuck with Neymar.
I mean, yeah, Brazilians, I've just had an attraction to the game. Granted, kind of a little bit of background. Ronaldinho is my favorite player.
See, I knew he was going to go down this road. Neymar, bro. What?
So I had to throw in my boy. Shout out Gaucho. But
Ronaldinho,
Neymar,
always a legend.
For sure. I mean, class.
Okay.
He's definitely world class. You look at the accolades. The guy is just driven.
Where would you put him, like, in terms of Brazilians? Like, name your top three Brazilians. Top five. Is he in your top five?
It's tough. It's tough. Brazilians, it's very tough because, you know, it's so funny in the doc, they kind of, you know, make reference to Pele, which I'll kind of talk about later. But yeah, Neymar, I mean, I maybe put him 5. Maybe 5,
okay.
maybe
I
5th.
mean, yeah, that's tough because Brazil has some real legends.
I mean, Brazil has some guys who, you know, they paved the way for Neymar. You know, this guy, and when you really look at it, he's done it all. He's done it all, minus the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to me, you know,
He's done it all.
because too bad. Shout out to our boy Jared. Jared is not here. The Mr. Stats. I call him Mr. OG Stats.
You got the.
You know, I feel like, you know, some people have, you know, sure, you can be critical about Neymar and the stats, but I feel as in general, like growing up watching and playing it, Brazil has always been like, to me, like, it's been my favorite team outside of the country I was born in. Ronaldinho is one of my favorites. Of course, R9, Roberto Carlos, Rivaldo, you know what I mean? The list keeps going. And I feel like watching Neymar, it reminds me of my childhood watching them. Yeah. So I have a very emotional attachment to that, you know? So when OG Stats, aka Jared, comes with but he's not, you know what I mean? I understand what he's saying, and sure, facts are facts, numbers don't lie, but I think there's something deeper for me as well than just the numbers. It's the way Neymar plays, and I think that's why people, to Jamil's point of him being Brazilian, in a way, they look at him of carrying the torch, you know? The thing of Brazil football, that's kind of what is on his shoulders, and it's a tough position for him to be in because that's a big load to carry. I would say.
No, 100%, and I'm gonna just go out and say it. I'm a Brazil stan. Like I'm a Neymar stan. I feel like internationally, the teams I support are France. The most, and the U.S., of course. But, you know, as you named it, Ronaldinho, R9, shoot, Robinho was top for me. I don't know. Robinho at his height was so for me, I guess Neymar is the dude that I wish Robinho would have been. And so, like you said, he just carried the torch. It went from Ronaldinho to Robinho, and then I forget who was after that, but it was really just Neymar who was next up as like the best. Mm-hmm. So we get it. We're all relatively Neymar fans because we're fans of the game, we're fans of Brazil. So when reviewing like a doc, I wanna get on the table everybody's feeling overall on the doc. Like out of 10, what would you rate it?
I'm gonna give it like I'm gonna give it like
thought about
I'm
it.
gonna give it like a 9 personally. Like
Neymar.
Yeah.
Up there.
Okay.
Yeah, up there. I mean, I don't know why it's not a 10 to be honest, but maybe that means like it's the perfect thing. But I would say it's a 9 for me. I got just a couple of quick reasons.
Yeah.
Number one, you saw what I liked is his father, which is kind of like essentially like a King Richard kind of vibe.
For real.
Of
managing his son.
Managing his son, but also I like that they showed a little bit of that tension between them.
Yes.
And the fact that Neymar was also honest, saying, lately my relationship with my father is more professional. It's not even father-son almost, right? And I felt like they had this one conflict in one of the episodes where they were kind of yelling at each other. He was saying,
Yes.
And I like that I had a feeling I was a fly on the wall. It wasn't set up. It was like we saw a little bit of the tension there.
It went on for like 5 minutes.
Bro,
like you were in this argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
real.
So I think I'm going to give it a 9 because it felt the controversy. It felt like Neymar didn't shy away to address those things, which is, I think I can really respect. Yeah.
Got you. What about you, Jamil?
Man, Janini over here influencing me with.
I was about to say. That's a good point though, and a point I forget.
I like that point. Funny enough, given all that he's been through and what he's done, I'm kind of leaning towards a 7.5. And maybe I'm just the critique or critical of it, but I've seen kind of raw footage of players in their childhood, and I get goosebumps watching those players, and I didn't really get the same reaction or feeling watching this.
It didn't give enough. It didn't show you enough of the raw stuff.
It didn't show me that raw. It was very staged for me.
Yes.
Very staged, and there were a few pieces that I liked, but he showed so much of his time with his kid. How much does he actually see his kid in real life? Like, for real, like,
bruh. I mean, and that's speculation. Like, I did really get that he was a good father. Like, more so just that.
And not to say that he was bad.
Yeah, but how often are you seeing your kid? You're on the road.
He's on the road.
You're in Paris.
And
your
I'm
kid's
sure
in
he's
Brazil.
talking, but it's.
Yeah, it's not like Cristiano where his kid literally follows him. No matter where he is.
It's staged a bit, and I think it could have given like more of the upbringing. I needed more of that upbringing.
I agree.
That kind of got him to where he was at Santos. To brought him up. Like
they skipped that whole part. It felt like they skipped.
Yeah.
It was just like, he was playing soccer in the streets, and suddenly he's signed.
Absolutely. But I was pleasantly surprised that they included, because Neymar to me it's the full package, as in like he has some controversy around his name, right? Yes. With all the diving, the rolling around, the court case that came on his path, which was probably BS, but just kind of long story short, he has some controversy around his name, and I was really wondering if they would touch upon some of those things in the documentary, right? Because Neymar is such a, like you said, bright light stars. You can also just focus on that.
Yeah.
So I actually like that they did show, him getting hit and him rolling around the floor, and the impact that had on the fans. And the critique that was on him, and that coming back to him and his brand, right? I kind of like that they touched upon that in general.
They touched on a lot of the controversy.
They did.
Yeah,
like the whole story was more around his controversy.
That ties into his whole title, story. Yeah, the title Chaos.
Perfect
Chaos. They kept referencing that, and but you know what? Also, you can't forget. He's so much a part of this documentary. And then you dive into, whoever it is who are very much involved with the process of developing the documentary versus other people formulating it for that person. And how much influence they have on what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I wonder. It felt to me that Neymar had a lot of influence on this one.
to Jamil's point, I see what you're saying. There's one thing that I felt that this documentary was as well, was clearly, and I'm not even sure they were trying to hide the fact that his father is very much busy about the brand of Neymar and the picture of Neymar. So I think this was one of those strategic moves from his point, from his camp, of like, look, let's talk about the man now. Let's talk about the brand. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about that. And I feel like, I think they made a creative decision not to focus too much about the past and the upbringing, because pretty based on their own agenda, I would say. Like, it really felt his father was like, look, we need to establish his brand for when he's done playing soccer. So we need to, that's kind of how the documentary felt a little bit too. Like, it felt like a promo piece, right? In a way.
For sure. And that was the feeling. It was crafted. Like, and I agree. Like, and because of those, I was focusing on those things. I gave it a 6. I was.
Oh wow. Okay. So I'm. I guess I'm very positive.
You're the outlier. Yeah. You're the optimist here. But to your point, like, I think you saw some things that you felt were really good in terms of Neymar, and that's why I asked y'all both the expectation questions, because my expectations were to get a little bit of a raw story and not a crafted story. And the story they crafted was nice. It was nice. You got to see all of the issues he's been kind of in the papers for, and we'll talk about some of those, and all the choices he's made, basically everything the tabloids said. But to me, it felt almost apologetic. And the things that they did display, but it just wasn't in your face, and I felt like it should have been in your face, was actually how crazy this man's career is and how good this man really is. And you wouldn't even have to apologize for this if you just show people how crazy is it that, like, at 15, 16 years old, they were calling you the next Pele. Like, he lived a LeBron James-esque life in terms of how early he got on. You know what I mean? And, like, it's just, that's what I wanted to focus on. I wanted to focus on how he got his skill set, not just, my father was a professional, he worked hard, and he, we used to play with his kids' friends. It just didn't feel enough for me. You know what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
There were some of those vignettes that I loved, though. I loved seeing him as a father. I loved them creating that father-son tension. And that one take of, like, him arguing with his father in the middle of his whole team, that was the rawest thing I feel like I saw on the doc. Probably. Yes,
absolutely. Because it was even interesting for me to see. I wonder who made that choice, just from a documentary standpoint. You look at it like The Last Dance, right? Of Michael Jordan. He's sitting there himself. Every Scottie Pippen, everybody's sitting one-on-one with the director, probably doing his interviews. What's interesting with Neymar was that he was on his hotel bed, right, with his friends around
boys.
Him. So I mean, not that it bothered me, but I just noticed it. Is it? And I was just wondering, like, is it because he feels more comfortable in right? He maybe feels like, I don't know, like, what is the reason why he didn't want to do a one-on-one? Because that's more vulnerable, maybe. You're more vulnerable, you're more, you know what I mean? So that was interesting.
He did do one-on-one sometimes. Like, he was.
Sometimes.
Like, they did, like, multiple interviews with him, and he did. But I thought it was an interesting choice, and it felt like a very, again, stage choice. Like, and
let's have your boys sitting around you.
And maybe that's really just how it is. He's just like, yo, I'm getting interviewed. Do y'all want to just kick it here with me?
Just kick. Yeah, sure, exactly.
I'm sure they're around him 24/7.
Funny to touch on that. One thing I recognize, and his boys were like damn near silent. They didn't really.
Well, but that's exactly. That's why I felt like, okay, because then I noticed that it was him sitting and the boys around him, but they were not really that part of the conversation as much.
At all. Not like, you'd see him smile, but they didn't even cut to them most of the time, They
didn't have much commentary on, like, his life or their friendship or how they met.
Bruh.
And then real talk.
That was.
How many Black Brazilian friends does he have?
Bruh, that is another point.
This all look fairly.
Dude, I had a meeting the other day with a Brazilian woman, and she told me, and I didn't even notice. She said, like, right now in Brazil, she said, there are 200 million people. She said, I think 54% are either black or mixed.
Yeah.
So the fact, that's huge because the U.S. is like what 17% black, maybe.
Right.
It's not even
14%. Yeah.
So if you think about it, Brazil 50+% is black mixed. So that was an interesting thing to kind of see in the doc that you didn't really see that.
Yeah.
That color in there. Yeah.
And I was looking for that too. I was looking for like, bruh, you and I used to talk about this in like college. Neymar did not look black like early coming up, or at least he didn't look black to me. He had the permed hair and the mohawk.
Right.
I was like, he looked like Latino. And then like I saw this man cut his hair and I was like, oh, this is like a brother.
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't face those same. They have to. All black diaspora, places face colorism and blackness.
Exactly.
But I wanted to hear some of that. Like, what was it like being the black boy, or the mixed boy, So I don't know, man. I did want to see a little bit more of that kind of stuff. So like, it takes you through. What did y'all think about the timeline? How we bounced.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just remind me. I think the first episode. Did they start? They touched a little bit on his youth, but they really started. They went from Santos. They went to Barca, right? That's kind of where the focus right away went, right? Or no?
Yeah. It started early. Well, it started on his current career as it was. It was like 2019 is probably present day of this documentary.
Right.
And I don't know, bro. I felt timeline-wise that it was just a little confusing, or not even confusing, but unnecessary when they went back versus when they went forward. It wasn't like during the present time, we do this. Oh, this reminds me of something I did as a kid, and then we go back. It was just like randomly. How did Neymar start?
I might have to change my my.
Oh no! Now I'm influencing you.
I might. You guys have some great notes because now that I think about it, yes, it's true because. As overall, 3 episodes, like I forgot how long each episode was. Was it an hour? 45 minutes?
Basically. Yeah.
Okay. So I have to say it was entertaining, but they could have dived so much deeper in certain topics. I would say yes. This is just scratching the surface. To be honest, that's probably what Jamil meant. Like. They kind of did it, but I think they could have gone deeper. I mean, overall, I wouldn't say it was a bad doc. I as a Neymar fan, I liked it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But
definitely.
But to that point, scratching the surface, how much of this info in this documentary you can't look up for yourself?
That's true. How much new info was given, really? Yeah.
Do you think they even showed him partying like in an authentic way?
I saw literally probably maybe 7 or 8 shots of like 2-3 seconds of him like that's it, you know what I mean? So I felt like they kind of shied away from that.
They're not gonna sit a camera in a club with them, I guess, but yeah.
That's the thing too, like what footage do they have, who's documenting whatever,
Yeah. That's what I wanted to see. I want to see some of that footage. Like, what's a real Neymar party like? Not when you're sitting around your friends and family and
they can't be showing all that.
Yeah, maybe not.
Real talk would have been nice is to see a day.
A day in the life.
Day in the life of Neymar. That's what I like to see. Wake up, breakfast.
Yeah, they have these little vignettes now, right, on social media where these players show a day in the life, right? Have you seen those, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Michael Richards.
I love those. I love those.
It is so good to just see like
just what you're doing. What kind of life do you live? Yeah. This didn't give me a real understanding of the life he lives. It just gave me an understanding of the controversies I've seen and what's happened. Speaking of the controversies, I think the first one that it popped up was him not going to. Well, I guess that's not a controversy, but him not going to Real Madrid. That was new information to me. I didn't know Neymar had
that it was very close, right?
It
almost happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was a cool tidbit. But then it gets to him going to Santos. First controversy was like him cussing off the coach and him being like disrespectful and stuff like that. So it's like that was his first, tabloid mark in history that he wanted to, I guess, explain, right? Like he was like, oh no, oh, this all happened and I cussed the coach, and they showed all the sound bites of everybody saying that he's going to turn into a monster.
Está na hora de alguém educar esse rapaz ou nós vamos criar monstro.
And then it was like, but nobody paid attention to the apology though. I guess you remember his dad said that, and then it showed Neymar apologized, and it was like, okay.
Apologize.
Yeah.
Yep.
Touching on that, I like how they tried to tie in the whole Neymar bad boy, role, and I never really see Neymar as a hothead to me. He gets in a controversy, but he's not like.
There's a lot of players like Gattuso. There's so many more players that are real hotheads.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
For him, it was like, they touch on that one point, and with Santos.
Yeah, I hear that. I heard that a lot. Like, Neymar is a hothead. Like, you hear all the things that you've heard before. Like, oh, I don't like Neymar. Oh, like the diving thing, like you said, G, was good. Like, that, like, I can't even remember when people started coming up to me like, oh, soccer? Oh, diving. Oh, they hurt their leg. Oh, they're rolling on the floor. But I do remember Neymar kind of advanced that thought, at least in America. Obviously, all over the world, people know how soccer is, and it's not as big. But, I remember people
I think that's a tough one to grasp for me. And I think...
is it the rolling, the excessive rolling?
It's what people who are not a part of the football world think of Neymar and footballers as an onseer. Man.
Yeah.
If footballers or soccer players, they are just rolling, diving.
Yeah.
I think I probably had a conversation about that the other day, and
you can't even defend it.
You can't. I take it a lot into. These guys are saving their bodies at the same time. I'm not even bullshitting. Like you either are jumping or you're.
Yeah. And I'm also I try to explain to people, like, imagine sprinting. Like, imagine trying to race somebody and you're running so fast and then somebody just steps with a cleat on your foot. Like, imagine how that feels. Imagine if somebody slides right underneath and they don't catch you, but they knock you off your pace. You're falling. And I do think, Neymar embellishes a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that's a part of his flair, to be honest. Like, for me, it's for as saucy as this man is, he's allowed to even be saucy while rolling on the ground. You know what I mean?
He's gonna show you that I dribbled your ass.
Right. I just megged you. That's why that you kicked me. And I'm gonna roll and roll and roll. So they have time to run the camera back.
My respect for Neymar, real talk though, is he said it in the documentary. Yo, keep kicking us. That's the Brazil way.
Yes.
They will keep coming, but his game never drops.
No, bro, and
even
just change his style.
You see a lot of footballers, they will get into their head. They will change the way they play. They'll almost be timid in coming to the ball. But he almost wants it more.
Yes.
Like the more they kick, he gets it again. He does the same thing. And then they still do it.
And it's crazy because they showed that in the documentary, but it just didn't feel like enough. Like, I want, like, because that's real. Like,
Neymar, I want them to highlight these fools who are out for Neymar. And I know there are guys out there.
Right.
They probably have clips of guys just looking at Neymar.
2 feet first.
Like,
diving.
Because, in every sport, it's like that. Unfortunately, you have people not, out there to play a specific role. But... yeah, I want to see these guys, like what Neymar is doing in the games. There was one incident, this guy was out to get me. This is what I was trying to do. It got in my head. Like, get into that in the game, This guy tried to tackle me 3 times.
So I
megged him. I knew he was going to come again. I knew if he tackled me one more time, he was on a yellow. He could have got another one. Like, I need to see stuff like that. What is going through your head?
And if you don't show stuff like that, then at least show more why it's just God-given. Because I can understand if there's like no thought about it. He's just like, no, that was just another game of football.
That was actually another point in this doc, and maybe if you're, a true Neymar, every move follower.
That's me.
What why did he question? Why did he make all these decisions? Wanting to move from Barca, wanting to leave PSG.
They didn't really answer it, but as a company they answered it.
And real talk,
Yeah.
his father contradicting him, which I think is fake in the documentary. His father telling him, Neymar, you should have stayed at Barca. That was the worst decision you made.
You don't think that was real?
I think to a certain extent, but his father, I think, has more control over everything than, they showed a little bit, but I think his father has a big stance in the decisions that he makes. Bruh. And a big influence.
We all talked about Neymar creating or crafting this documentary. I actually think it was his dad. I think this is his dad.
Yeah.
I think his dad had a big influence because for him to be making these type of moves, like a move to PSG, is not simply Neymar.
Yeah. But again, his dad portrayed himself as like a very open father who is just here to manage him. They're gonna fight, but he's very open to Neymar and the moves he's making.
Contrary to what Neymar said.
Entende? Nem toda hora eu acompanho. Teve tempo que eu acompanhava você. Você até gostava. Hoje você detesta que eu esteja perto. Mas que você tem que estar protegido, tem. Como assim? É que o negócio parou de ser assim. Entendeu? Porque o Neymar começou a achar, falar assim, não, pô, eu tenho minha tia, sou eu, não preciso mais, eu não sou filhinho de papai, eu não sou negócio, meu pai vai ficar governando a minha vida, eu não quero governar a vida.
Não,
eu sei, mas concordo, mas...
É a forma agressiva que às vezes você
vem
fala.
cá, ó,
Eu falo isso e eu vejo isso com todo mundo, pai, seja com meus amigos, seja com segurança, funcionário seu, eu já vi isso.
Mas como
então, é isso, mas não importa, mas eu não falaria da forma como você fala, é isso que eu tô tentando.
Você berra desse
mas
jeito aí.
Eu tô te falando meu exemplo, é que você não gosta de contradição, você não gosta de contradizer você, só isso.
You don't know how to speak to people, that's why I don't like you
But
around.
don't you think his dad intentionally put it in there so he can show, we have tension? Like, it's not just perfect.
That's true.
But every other, outside of the fights, that tension that they portrayed, every other interaction between Neymar's dad and anybody else showed Neymar's dad as like a really good guy. Really, like, he was...
I honestly think if this... if this is a game of chess and his dad is like master at it, I honestly think that. I think that we seeing Neymar, we seeing the talent, we seeing the flair, but I think his dad has really crafted the image of Neymar. I think Neymar obviously is a good player, but I think his dad, just kind of like King Richard, right, with Selena and Venus and stuff. I think it's very similar to what his dad was doing for his brand and his name.
Damn.
I mean,
Bro,
I think so. I
Does Neymar? So Neymar's not Neymar without it.
I think it's
without
huge.
Senior.
I mean, he even says it. Eventually.
In 10 years, your career will be over.
My dad wants me to take over this company. I don't want to take over this company.
Yeah.
I'm not about this work life.
You just want to play.
Football is my life. I'm not doing the business side, and I'm sure he touches on it, but his dad is... And this a thought popped up. Where's his mom?
Bruh, his mom, she was there.
Was she there?
She's in Brazil chilling.
She was in one room the whole documentary.
The whole time standing, right?
Standing up.
Standing in one room.
They had a 5-minute interview with her.
While the dad has a different pair of the detached glasses every scene.
Yo.
Very true. Very true.
What'd you think about the World Cup injury? That World Cup 2014 altogether, like it was one of the more interesting.
The Germany one?
Yeah, the Germany one.
Back home, that one hurts. Yeah.
I actually felt that they did a good job.
Yeah,
they did a good job. They did a good job, but the injury, I don't think they did a good. Like, he did say, like, the doctor told me an inch to the left and I would not be walking again, which is crazy. But like, for me, and I was in Brazil for that time period. that injury shook the whole country. And they showed the team and that they were holding up the jersey, but I don't know if y'all remember, like they were wearing like Forza Neymar hats and everybody was crying on their way to the stadium to play Germany. It was like a whole thing, and I thought they were gonna go a little deeper in that.
And that's kind of crazy because in a way I felt like I wonder if his dad was like, I know it's bad that you're injured and we lost, but maybe it's better for your brand that you were not there when they lost. Because
this ain't on.
That's my question.
This ain't on.
That's a great point. Because here's the thing. He's elite. We know he's elite. And when he's playing for the Brazil team, he's almost surprisingly great. And do you think they would have still got murked if Neymar was on the pitch?
And that's the thing. His dad can always, or they can always say, we lost because we didn't have Neymar, right? Or at least, so I feel like it was probably, for his brand, it was better that he wasn't even playing while they got murked like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
So y'all don't think Brazil would have won if Neymar was playing? They had a squad that year too.
I mean, to be honest, what went wrong there, man? That was just
the momentum.
Even seeing that back in the documentary, you see all the goals go in from Germany. You're like, what?
Yes.
The morale was definitely just down after that.
I really think they were the favorites. They were dragging teams. And that Colombia game was intense, I remember, but it like
It shifted after you got hurt.
It did shift.
It shifted because you got to also remember, it was kind of it was kind of about Neymar that
it was Neymar's World Cup.
That World Cup.
It was his coming up. I mean, but they were deep in every position except striker. They were missing a striker.
Never.
Yeah, they were
last.
last. They
R9.
R9 is it. After that, it's Fred and Joe and
Jesus,
Gabriel Jesus.
I love you, but man.
So yeah, other than that, but they had Dani Alves, they had Thiago Silva, Marcelo, David Luiz was back there, Julio Cesar still balling. They had Dante. I'm naming all defenders. At least they had a defense and Neymar. They had Willie and Hulk in them too. Oscar.
They should have not lost. And back home with all your own supporters.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, I'm really of the belief that if Neymar was playing, it would have been a great game, or it would have been Neymar's game.
Who is Neymar's role model, idol player?
The one and only Pele.
I mean,
I was gonna say his dad.
Player?
Yeah, because he didn't really say Ronaldinho. He didn't really say a player that he's like, that's my
player.
No.
He said Pele at the beginning.
He said Pele.
Pele.
He never made reference to that. Really, after that, that was like he was like 7, 8.
Everybody loved
him, But like Pele, he'd never even seen Pele play.
But that was kind of the point I was making at the top of this. Like, no other Brazilian other than Dani Alves took part in this documentary.
Well, maybe Thiago Silva, right? Thiago Silva.
Oh, and Thiago Silva. That's right, Thiago Silva. So Thiago Silva was his teammate at PSG.
And Dani Alves.
And Dani Alves was at that time. Damn, that's crazy. So was that just convenience? Like they couldn't hit up?
Yeah, I would have loved to hear from like Ronaldinho and stuff.
Exactly.
About Neymar, like what they think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, this man has a tattoo of his sister on his shoulder. His sister was all over Instagram when he popped on the scene. I didn't see his sister once in this doc.
No, I think I saw like 2 shots that she was in.
Yeah. She didn't even speak.
That is interesting.
Which is
like for as close as they are.
Yeah,
it wasn't about her.
That's what I mean. This is carefully chosen, like creatively, like by the father or by the team. What are we going to focus on? Let's make this a promo piece about Neymar for his brand. And the mother, she can add some stuff here and there in a 5-minute interview. And the sister has nothing to say because we're not going to focus on.
Right, shut her up.
I guess so, because it's weird. First of all, I think his sister is beautiful, right? So
I think she's having a lot of surgery though.
But
that's a big.
By that I mean, why didn't they use her in the documentary? I would have been a good thing to see his sister talk about her brother, right? How growing up with a brother like that.
Back to how he grew up. Like, we got zero information on that. Like, was this?
Man, yo, because of this, you guys, I'm gonna have to go maybe to a 7, man. I'll have to go to Jamil.
Yeah, bro.
Now,
I'm sorry, but
No,
that's why we're breaking this down. And
It was more so that what you speak of, there's that response, that immediate response, not even looking at it from an analytic, lens. It was just like, yo,
I want more.
like I need to be feeling like gripping my chair, like, yo, this is
the type of career this man.
And where's the samba? I need the samba.
Where's the Jenga?
Where's the Jenga? Where's the samba? He did his dancing, but I was like, yo, when you talk about Brazilian football, I think
yes,
he's the picture of it. Look at that boy. I think that boy's finished. He's over here getting patterned, getting laced up.
Thank you guys for, letting me join this podcast while I'm doing my hair. I wish I could sit down in the studio with you guys.
Boy looking like a mix of Sane.
Yes.
What they say?
Sane, Adama Traore. Willian when he had the braids. You're killing, bro.
Marcelo.
They do call Giannini Marcelo when we're playing pickup. Every time they see his.
Doesn't matter where I go in LA, whenever there's Latinos and they see me with my hair,
Marcelo.
they say Marcelo.
Marcelo. Yeah, every time. I'm like Willian or Sane. Bro,
that's other guys too.
Marcelo.
Yo, G, thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. We will catch you on the next time.
See you on the next one, guys.
100%.
All right, man. Love. Peace.
There goes his mom again in
the same
kitchen.
room.
But
I appreciate y'all coming through. Appreciate you, Jamil, for being here.
I know.
Another one. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Deuces.
Me rodeio, tá sempre atrás. Como é que me larga, se atrasa demais? Como